Hi everyone, Brian from Bearable Traders here. It's Sunday, August the 1st. We're into August here. And of course, this is the weekend video where we take a look at where we've been in the last week. We have obviously had a lot of earnings through the week, a lot of big tech earnings, and we're going into another week here where there's lots more earnings coming up. Maybe not quite as interesting, but still lots of earnings on deck here, and what we can look forward to here trading this first week of August. So let's take a look and see what happened over the last week and then look ahead. Okay, so week of August the 2nd, let's see what we got to look forward to here. More earnings, as I mentioned earlier. We've got Bob on Tuesday. Of course, that'll be quite interesting given all the drama we've had with the Chinese stocks in general and the big sell-off that's happened on these Chinese stocks as well. And so Bob will be interesting to see how that reports and what happens after the report. Roku, Uber, and Etsy on Wednesday after the market close. Moderna before the market open, and Square and Beyond after the market on Thursday. Donkey Kong, DKNG, DraftKings Friday before the market open. And of course, Friday, the big earnings report will be coming out. The non-farm payroll report come out on Friday. This will be watched by a lot of people just because they'll be taking interest in it, because I know the Fed will be watching that number two. And if it comes in really strong, that could be a sign that the Fed may decide that maybe they should be stop or slow down the money printing, etc., start to taper that. So that'll be an interesting number on Friday that will be watched by a lot of people. Of course, that's late in the week. Of course, the 10-year yield continues to look weak, which kind of an indication in the bond market that the economic conditions are weakening, not getting stronger. The US dollar has been weak this week, so to speak. And what we've been doing this last week, a lot of options plays, just playing options before and after earnings as a way to play these. So let's skip ahead here and start looking at some of the specific indexes and how they performed this week. But before we do that, this is my opportunity to do a little advertising for my book on Amazon, How to Swing Trade. If you have not checked it out yet, it is there on Amazon. Beginner's Guide to Trading Tools, Money Management, Rules, Routines, and Strategies of a Swing Trader. I do have another book coming out here. It's probably not coming out till the fall. It's just being edited right now, so something to look forward to as well. All right. Let's take a quick look at the indexes here and the bonds. You can see here bonds still in a definite uptrend. It's still holding this 20 moving average line, and we're still heading up, which price of bonds going up means yields are dropping. So again, as I mentioned earlier, kind of an indication that maybe the bond market thinks we're still looking at a weak economic recovery. And if we skip forward here, the 10-year yield, you can see here we've started to roll over, and now we're definitely in a downtrend. And here's this 50 moving average, which we'll be watching next week to see if it holds. But of course, as these yields drop, this is not good for the financials. And who knows, it does indicate maybe that the Fed will continue to print money as long as the economy looks weak. The transports, looks like they're trying to put in a double bottom here. I always like to look at the transports. It's a bit of a leading indicator for the markets, the Dow in particular, and it does seem to be holding this sort of 14,250 level, and we'll keep an eye on that. You can see everything, it's kind of flattening out here. All the indicators are flattening out, so maybe we're just going to hold this level. The transports were actually down on the week 2%. So not, again, in a pretty established downtrend on a weekly basis. The Dow, again, pretty choppy week. Not a lot of price action moved one way or another. And on a weekly basis, of course, again, just a really very small candle here on the week. Just not a lot of progress forward, but really no significant losses either. And we still are holding this 20 moving average, although I suspect we are going to continue to maybe just chop sideways here. The Qs, again, we did manage to hold this 20 moving average on a daily basis. On the week, again, we did have a bit of an off week, almost 1%. But we've gone through these before. It was getting pretty extended from these moving averages, so maybe we're just going to get a bit of a consolidation or pullback here. Again, not a lot of fear of a big sell-off. The SPY, kind of the same story here. Pretty choppy action all week. Volume was mediocre. Again, all the indicators just seem to be flatlining on the week. Of course, we are down about 1/3%. And the index that actually did pretty well this week was the small caps, the IWM. So let's take a look on a weekly. You can see here we're up about 2/3%, 0.68. That was the only index that actually ended up on the week. And you can see here we did it on pretty decent volume, better than, not quite as good as last week. Stochastics are still down below 50 and heading lower, so that's always that can be a sign that a rally is destined to fail. So RSI just trying to hold the 50 level. We're flattening out on the histogram, the MACD, so jury's out about where we're going here with the IWM, but again, could be just a bit of a sideways price action here. And you can see here, this is the dollar, obviously big sell-off over the week. We started out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, big down day. Thursday, we kind of got into an area where we would expect some support, and Friday was a bit of a bounce, but we definitely have broken this uptrend that the dollar was in. And the VIX, again, really no sign of fear in the market. That's why I don't really foresee a big sell-off, but coming anytime soon. But again, we do seem to be sort of stuck at these levels, and all the good earnings aren't really driving the indexes higher, so we may just be into a consolidation. So we had a huge run up after this Bitcoin. I think there was some kind of a Bitcoin conference. Had a big run up on that one, back up over 40,000, and now over the course of the last couple of days, a bit of a pullback after this big break from the bit of a downtrend we were in. So we'll see what happens. We still didn't recapture this 200-day moving average. Got up kind of close to it, but again failed. So we'll see what it does here on this pullback, whether we get an ABCD pattern, which would be A, B, C, D going higher, or whether we end up sort of chopping in this range. It does kind of look like maybe it's trying to hold this 39,500 level. And that could be a level to trade off of. We did get really overbought here. You can see the RSI pretty high. Stochastics kind of rolling over here a little bit after we had that big run up. Again, everything kind of overbought. So getting a bit of a pullback here on Bitcoin. So tonight I'm just going to do, I'm going to look at the sectors. I'm going to use FinViz instead of stock charts, just because it's we can kind of look at where things have been in the last day, week, and month. But you can see here, basic materials over the last week, we had a really good run on basic materials. Now, probably a lot of that was due to the weak US dollar. When the dollar weakens, you get a lot of basic material prices go up. Same with energy. So you can see here, energy and basic materials were the big gainers on the week. Consumer cyclicals, again, this is kind of an indicator that possibly people are thinking consumer is going to be weaker than expected. Economy is a little weaker than expected, so the cyclicals dropped. You can see here some of the safety trades, utilities, were up a little bit on the week as well. On a month basis, the utilities, again, safety trade, basic materials. Technology is still pretty strong on the month, over the last month. But again, I think as long as the dollar stays weak, this basic material and energy trade may be the good place to be with money on this current money rotation. So a few things I got on watch here. FCX, I've mentioned that on Wednesday. Thursday we had that nice big pop up here. Didn't chase it, unfortunately, but I'm still keeping an eye on it. We had a bit of a pullback on on Friday when the US dollar kind of bounced back a bit, but I think copper and FCX, a couple different ways you can play it, but certainly Freeport's a copper gold play. Still looks pretty decent here. Well, it is really overbought on the stochastics, so might have to. We'll see what it does tomorrow, but and we'll watch the U.S. dollar as well. But it could fill this gap here, this 39, which is another dollar higher, and then we're looking at sort of a 41 level possible next target. I did get into some gold. I did get into some gold trades here, and not the GDX, but the Canadian one, HGU. But I'm looking at this GDX as well as possibility for going higher. GPRE, I'm looking at this one because it looks like it's just breaking out here. So I like the look of this. Good volume on Friday. RSI hooking up here. Stochastic's a little overbought, unfortunately, but this one looks like it wants to go higher. So maybe a bit of a pullback here to 31 might be a good entry. The low on Friday was 31.60, so probably 31.50 or 60 if we do get a bit of a pullback, but it's already at 35, so looks like it's breaking out here on GPRE. KWeb does look like a bit of a reversal here. This will be watched particularly on Tuesday morning when BABA reports. You can see here it's really oversold. The only challenge with trading these is, it's just a matter of waiting for yet another shoe to drop, and the Chinese government could be, who knows who they'll go after next in terms of some of these interlisted companies, ADRs, and this could drop more. But it's certainly, you can see here, since February, it's just been half the value, since lost half its value. Crazy. So maybe might get a bit of a reversal if BABA comes out with some good numbers there. Plug just still keeps one eye on. It just seems to be chopping sideways, nothing going on there. QCOM had a nice pop on Thursday on that earnings, and sold some calls on that and collected the premium because it didn't, once it topped out here, never got back. SoFi, I did take an entry on Friday, and pulled back a bit into the close here, but there's my stop. It looks like it's a bit of a double bottom. Unfortunately, it never got through this 20 moving average here. So I will be watching that. Just if it does look like it's going to lose 15, I'm probably going to bail on it. Otherwise, let's just see here. What's first target on this one would be probably up in the 1660 area. We can get through the 20 moving average, sort of the $17 area, and then we've got maybe up to 19. Again, part of it's going to depend on maybe some interest rates. Toll Brothers, let's skip ahead here. You can see here it looks like it's actually going to be going to break out here. It's some decent volume over the last couple days. Home builders have been doing well after this big sell-off, and that could be interesting play. It is up into an area of prior resistance here, prior support here, so naturally we are stalling out a little bit, but we could use this moving average 58.30, 58.40 as support, and the indicators, momentum indicators are all looking pretty good here. VIAC or VACQ, I'll be still keeping an eye on that one. If it can get down around, if it does get around $10, I might take a nibble in that one. Viacom's a dog's breakfast. What else can you say? X been pushing up since the announcement of maybe a tentative deal with the infrastructure plan. And U looks kind of interesting here. It came up on a scan here. It hasn't been trading very long, but it did break out on Friday, and it looks like it might continue higher here. So I'll be watching that on Monday. The only problem is it's not a lot of volume here. 500,000. Well, it's not bad. Zim, again, maybe putting in a bit of an inverse head and shoulders here. If it can break above 40, 41, Could be heading back up to this level here, sort of 47 level. And that's it for the watch list right now. Again, right now I'm in HTU, and I think silver, the First Majestic, or this Pro Silver. Silver is actually looking kind of interesting as well here. So gold, silver, again, just keeping an eye on that US dollar, and we could see some strengthening in the gold, silver stocks here this week. So let's wrap things up. Let's take a look at what the futures look like at this point in time. Right now we have the futures are up. We've got the futures sitting around 172 on the Dow right now. The S&P is up 23. Nasdaq's up 66. So it looks like we're heading for a positive open. And oil is down a little bit. Everything else, most of the stuff, natural gas looking like it's going to be strong at the open here. Gold and silver kind of flat right now. And you can see here the yields, again, just rolling over a little bit. They continue to be weak. So, yeah, like I said, going to be an interesting week, and certainly Friday is going to be a big day with the non-farm payroll. So that's it, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend, and we'll wrap things up with that. Of course, we'll be live on YouTube at 8 o'clock with Jared, Engineering the Markets, 8:30, trading the market open. 8:30, we'll be going through the pre-market show with Norm and Carlos, see what's moving and shaking, and then, of course, trading the market open actually at 9:30. And hopefully we will see you at one or all of those events. Have a great rest of the evening, everybody, and we'll see you in the morning.